And we are live. This video is presented to you by Pub Sports Radio. And if you're looking for a book, please use mybookie.ag promo code Pub Sports Radio. My name is Billy Briz, back at it again. Another video here this week. Make sure you follow me over on Twitter at Getting Bills. Got a lot of things going on for this week. Have a DFS package on my Patreon right now. And also I have a Halloween promo of a UFC kind of like betting breakdown for this week for $1 only. If you don't have $1, I don't know what to tell you if you can't buy that for $1. But let's get into this slate real quick. The main news that we really want to care about real quick is Christian McCaffrey. Is he playing or is he not playing this week? He's been practicing a lot this week. He's been kind of over on the side a little bit. I think we still get one more week of Mike Davis. Even if Christian McCaffrey does play, I don't know if I'll be slighted to play him. Looking at the two quarterbacks on this slate, Matt Ryan and Teddy Bridgewater. Matt Ryan, he's been pretty good so far this year. On paper, you would think that he would pop in this spot right here. He's got a healthy Julio Jones back with Calvin Ridley and Hayden Hurst, who's been more involved in this offense also himself. He currently leads the NFL with 2,181 passing yards through the 7 games so far this season. Against the Panthers in week 5, though, he cannot get it done. And it was his season low of 226 yards, no touchdowns, and an interception. I wouldn't say it's a full fade here for me for Matt Ryan this week, but I would be very interested to see how these ownership projections come out for tomorrow to see who's higher owned between the two quarterbacks. Teddy B, he's kind of had a sneaky start. And for the season so far, he's been averaging 17.62 fantasy points per game this season so far against the Falcons, who are the 31st against fantasy wide receivers this year. Teddy Bridgewater is in a perfect spot right here. I'd be more inclined to pick Teddy B over Matt Ryan if I had to pick between the two quarterbacks. But I think the wide receivers here on this slate are pretty interesting. We got a fully healthy Julio Jones at $9,800 here, right above Robbie Anderson. Julio Jones, I feel like, is always going to pop from the yards perspective, but touchdowns are always a concern for Julio. But he's a great GPP play on this slate, and I think he's a good pivot off of Robbie Anderson. I think Robbie Anderson is going to be really chalk on DK. He's one of the biggest surprises so far this season, or maybe just Adam Gase just sucks as a coach, but he has had 55 yards in every game so far this season, including a 74-plus yard week. And in 6 out of 7 games so far this season, Anderson will probably see primary coverage from A.J. Terrell. The rookie cornerback has allowed a shocking 21 for 24 passing yards this year for 287 yards and 2 touchdowns in coverage. AKA he's one of the worst cornerbacks in the league. And DJ Moore on the other side also sees one of the worst quarterbacks in the league with Kendall Sheffield. He's allowed a league high 2.7 yards per snap. No other cornerback is above 2.39. 12 wide receivers this year have scored 12.1 plus PPR points against the Falcons. That just shows how bad they've been. DJ Moore kind of had an explosion of a week last week. The only thing that I don't like about DJ Moore that kind of separates him from Robbie Anderson is just the target floor. On DK, they're priced differently than they are on Fanduel. Fanduel has them differently priced, probably because of the recency bias. I think Robbie Anderson is going to be ultra chalk on Fanduel, and I think he's a must core play on Fanduel at $10,000. That's way too cheap for Robbie Anderson, the usage that he's been seeing this year. And DJ Moore is at $11,000, so that makes him good for a good GPP play. And I like both wide receivers here in this situation. Another wide receiver to note is Curtis Samuel. He is kind of been used as a gadget type of player. He was used a lot more last year before Robbie Anderson came inside the picture, obviously. But he has a really good athletic profile, and he's been getting a couple targets these last couple of weeks that have been noticeable. And he's been getting used in the rushing game also as well with a couple of attempts per game. So on a short slate like this, those are some type of GPP targets that you kind of want to go towards. When it comes to the wide receivers, third wide receiver situation for the Atlanta Falcons. I know Russell Gage is a higher price, but Russell Gage is I don't know, man. He just hasn't been doing it for me. He's been playing pretty well these last couple of weeks. I think he's a really good price, though, on DK at $4,200 compared to his FanDuel price. Where's his FanDuel price? His FanDuel price is $7,500. I really do like that price on DK, actually, now looking into it a little bit more. But I can't even say this dude's name, but Lamide Zaccheaus. I can't even say the dude's name, but he hasn't been really used so much of recent. But if he does get the call up here as a start, $1,000 is a good price tag. That's the type of price tag that you can catch one ball and pay off the price tag right there. But the tight ends for this slate, I really do like Hayden Hurst's price tag on DK at $6,400. He's been getting more involved inside the offense this season, and he's been targeted at least 4 targets since week 3, and he's been playing pretty well. A little bit of concerning because of the boom bust potential, but I'd rather play him than Ian Thomas. Looking at the sports books have Mike Davis as the highest touchdown potential at -175. Second is Todd Gurley at -130. And then we kind of get into the value range right here. We got Calvin Ridley at +125. Julio Jones is +135. And then we got DJ Moore at +150. And we have Robbie Anderson at +130. My favorite touchdown prop of this game for tomorrow is going to be Calvin Ridley. With Julio Jones on the field, I feel like the coverage is definitely going to have to shy over to Calvin Ridley a little bit. But to Julio a little bit rather than Calvin Ridley, but Calvin Ridley exploded on the Panthers earlier this season. We can highlight that. Go to the box score a little bit for this one. He had 8 catches off of 10 targets for 136 yards and no touchdowns in that game. I easily think Calvin Ridley can get in the touchdown zone here. Also, talking about the 2 running backs on the slate, I know Mike Davis is in a smash spot here, but I don't know, man. Todd Gurley is in a better spot here against Carolina. Carolina is one of the teams that you really want to pick on in the rushing game so far this season. And Todd Gurley, even though those 22 points is really not really 22 points because he scored that touchdown really late in that game by accident last week, and that's how Atlanta ultimately ended up losing that game against the Lions last week at home. But Todd Gurley, even though I'm not a big fan of him, this is a really good spot, and especially in a showdown slate, Todd Gurley, people are going to call him dust. But in this spot right here, I might even take a shot at the -130. What's up, Razor Sharp Picks? He had his little Mountaineer horse racing stuff going on last week. I really like that contest that you had going on. Moved on to the second round. Brian Hill would be a slate breaker. I really like that call. This is a really good spot for Atlanta's running backs against Carolina. It will be interesting to see where the sports books have these couple of deep player props, because Brian Hill might be a shot at like a +500 just to have some fun with tomorrow night. Russell Gage, you like Russell Gage as a cheap wide receiver. I don't blame you. On DraftKings, I really do think he is a good play. I would give DraftKings on it, but I definitely don't want to get in trouble. What's up, MMA Locker Room? That's what I meant to say. MMA Locker Room, he's coming out with a Bellator picks right after this video at 8 o'clock. And then 9 o'clock Eastern time, he has a seconds out video. You don't ever know who you're going to see on that video. They had Jordan Griffin on there last week. Since I can't give you a DraftKings lineup, I'll give you a FanDuel lineup here. This is kind of what I'm looking at on FD. We can go Ridley, and I want to stack both wide receivers here. Correlation's a big thing. I didn't really get too much into that because of time consideration. When you play a quarterback and your captain, you want to have the wide receiver in there, and vice versa, have a run back. And then if you have a Falcons quarterback in there, you want to have the 2 pass catchers on that team also as well. It's just kind of way fantasy football works sometimes. And then that leaves you with $11,000 left. I'm not going to tell you who to play, but that's kind of how I'm looking at for this type of slate. I'm not going to fill out the lineup because I don't want to split a bunch of money with y'all. But if you check out my Patreon, I will probably have that posted in there. Make sure you check out my Patreon. I got $1 UFC package in there for this week for Halloween, Silver versus Hall. And also have some DFS football stuff going on over there. I got a $3 package for DFS lines this weekend and a betting breakdown. It's not that I'm trying to make money off of people off of Patreon. Patreon is just an easier way to kind of mass send emails about my thoughts and stuff like that as they go along with the slate. It's easier than like tweeting out stuff or stuff like that. That's why I have it set at the lowest amount possible that you can have. And that's really the video here. If you have any questions, make sure you hit me up on Discord. And if you haven't followed me on Twitter already, make sure you follow me on Twitter over at Getting Bills. See you guys. Have a nice night.